Right, good morning, welcome back. Okay, parts are here, a massive investment, as I'm sure you'll agree, and that's an answer to some of the people out there that have said, why didn't you put cams in it? I don't have the budget. You've seen what I spent on this already, and that's plus another 260 odd pounds on the clutch and the oil and various other bits and pieces I bought. I'm over 1,500 pounds already in parts alone for this project, so that hopefully answers the question why I don't do this and do that and do the other. I'm doing this all within budget because I've got wheels and suspension and all sorts of other things to buy for the bike, so I'm just managing the pennies. Anyway, there we go, going to install the top end. Going to do it over 2 days. This is one of those things that is critical, but it's pretty straightforward. It's just methodical process, and all of these kits come with instructions. They come with detailed instructions that are equally as good as the Harley Davidson service manual. You will also need a service manual because it refers in the instructions many times to specified as in the manual, so you need both. Now I'm going to take my time, I'm going to read through the instructions, make sure that everything I think is right, and always defer to the instructions. There are some things that are different. Each manufacturer of these kits has their own way that they want them installed, and I would always defer to that. Naturally, whatever you might hear outside, whatever anyone else might say, the instructions supplied with the kit by the manufacturer of the kit are the Bible, and I'm going to make sure I follow those. Right, so that's it today. I'm just going to get on with it. Penny's here to help me film the process. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get stuck in. Right, first thing, clean up the top of the crankcases, make sure they're splendid, shiny and spotless, just like the new parts. Right, that's 1 hour. You can't spend too long doing that though. Those gasket faces now are perfect. Really happy with that. Next, I want to clean these because they come with a sticky manufacturing residue. You can kind of feel it inside. I guess it stops them corroding in transit. I've got to clean all that off with brake cleaner, get them absolutely bone dry, and then a thin film of oil inside there just to prevent them from rusting while they're sitting in here, because that is absolutely bare metal in there. So clean them, then oil them, and we can start assembling. Right, next thing is to check the piston ring gaps inside the bore to make sure you've got exactly the correct tolerance. And if you haven't, you have to adjust it with a little file.
That's too tight. Perfect. No, that's way tight. Perfect. That's well tight. Perfect.
Right, okay, that's the piston rings gapped. They don't often need that. Usually they're the right size and they fit perfectly, but in this case they needed just a slight adjustment. 3 out of the 4 of them, and they're done now. Plus I've also deburred them, cleaned them thoroughly with brake cleaner and re-oiled them, so there's no filing residue whatsoever going to be in the mix. Now those piston rings are ready to install onto the pistons, and then I can orientate the gaps on them so they're correct.
Top gap, middle gap, bottom gap. Done. Forward. Okay. There he is.
Okay, there's no fixed way to do this. When you put the pistons and barrels onto the engine, you can either put the pistons on first, then drop the barrels over the top, or you can pre-install the pistons into the barrels with the bottom of the skirt hanging out and then put that on the engine in one piece. pop the pin through and then pat the barrel down. Now, whichever way you choose to do it is normally dictated by what tool you've got. If you've got an open piston ring compressor, then you can put the pistons on first, because then when the barrel's on and the compressor's in the way, you can release it and fish it out. I've got a closed piston ring compressor. It's a continuous one, so I have to install the pistons into the barrels first. There's no advantage or disadvantage in either direction, other than maybe the fact that installing these pistons on the bench means I can take a little bit more care to make sure that the piston ring gaps don't move and they stay in exactly the right places, so it's a really nice install. So let's get everything lubed up with the engine assembly lube that needs to be and get on with it. Well, there we are, a nice milestone place to stop. Pistons in, rings fitted, orientated correctly, cylinders on, ready to throw the heads on now. Now at this point, although I've got the dowels fitted, the cylinder heads can't go straight on as they are. They're in a dreadful state. I'm fitting the original factory cylinder heads. This kit is compatible with the original factory cylinder heads, so they've got to be cleaned up. They're in an absolutely terrible state. You saw the state of the crankcases here. They weren't that bad, and that still took me an hour to get them perfect. I want them perfect as well. I reckon they're going to take an hour each. And then of course there's everything above them. There's the rocker plates and the mid plate, and of course the rocker rocker cover itself. They've all got to be meticulously perfect and clean before I can reinstall them, because I don't want to do it twice. I don't want any leaking gaskets. Gaskets are expensive, as you saw on the list. So anyway, there we are. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe, and let's see how far we get in the next one.